let's make a rag wreath. We're going to start with wire hangers, just the cheap wire hangers that they give you when you return when they give you back your, what do you call it, dry cleaning. I don't get my clothes dry cleaned, so I go to estate sales a lot, and if they have these, they'll give them to you. A lot of times, I got these little cheap pliers, and you straighten out your hangers. Not very exciting, very easy. So you do that 3 times. Straighten them out, make them a circle. They don't have to be perfect. It helps if the 3 hangers start out the same size, so that they're pretty similar in size. So now we have 3 wire hanger circles. I tie them together with a long piece of fabric, just depending on what the theme we're going for. I think I'll make a 49ers wreath for this tutorial. A friend wants a 49ers wreath. So I have a bunch of red felt. I've made lots of razorback wreaths, so I have just regular red fabric. I have this tan fabric that is good for 49ers wreaths, and I'll probably have to cut some more of it. It really depends on the kind of fabric. Like, this is an outdoor fabric, and so it's really thick and it's not real pliable, and so it's kind of hard to tie if it's shorter. So you want it to be a little bit longer, but generally cut your pieces, and you see how my cuts are crazy. They are all different lengths, all different shapes and sizes. I am not careful at all. If I end up with a bunch of really long ones, I'll cut them down. And sometimes if you throw in a couple of really long ones in the middle of a wreath that's just kind of with a bunch of little short ones, it'll look raggier and better. It's cute. But generally speaking, the lengths of the pieces need to be between 6.5 and 7.5 inches. And again, I don't measure it, but like, this is a more pliable fabric, and so it'll be easier to tie. There are people, crafters, that have these little doodads that cut fabric, like with a slide thingy, and that looks awesome. I've only seen pictures of it. I've never actually used one. I literally, if it's like a sheet fabric that will tear really easily, I'll tear the fabric. Since this is, like I said, this outdoor thick fabric, I have to cut it. I seriously, like, you guys, I don't measure. I don't do it carefully. I just kind of eyeball it. And sometimes that gets me into trouble, because sometimes I don't end up with enough, or I end up with all these weird little bitty ones because I'm not really measuring anything. But that's just how I roll. See, this is way too short. Why would I cut that? But this is way too long. See how it could be more efficient? You can be more efficient, and that's okay too. For the football, NFL, and college teams, I go on eBay and I buy these little flags. They're between $2 and $4, depending on how popular the teams are. Actually, they're generally free shipping, because the seller just sticks them in an envelope and with no tracking or anything, so it's super cheap, very fast. I mean, super cheap. And they're perfect for these wreaths because they fit perfectly in the circle of the hangers. Really good. I get the fabric from all kinds of places. Mostly thrift stores. Old sheets from thrift stores. I just did one using a shower curtain from a thrift store. This is a sheet that someone was selling a bunch of old, like this is super old. It's very, very well worn. She was selling them on Craigslist. It was like a whole bunch of sheets for $5 or something. And it has been perfect for wreath making. I mean, look, I'm not even having to cut this. It'll just tear. It's insane. Almost all of my wreaths have some white filler. They seem to always look a little bit better if you have whatever colors plus, you know, a couple of white pieces. So now I'm going to tie the three together. I'm just going to use some longer white pieces. I usually do 4 pieces, so they're like quadrants that you can break the wreath up into. Okay, so I have my 3 wire hangers that are made into circles and connected with pieces of cotton fabric. I went on a different, I have another wreath I need to make that's going to be oranges and greens and blues. So look, I have this little basket full of my cut up fabric. I have navy and orange and light yellow and white, and the main color will be this pretty emerald green. So the next thing you do is start. My main color is going to be the green, so I'm going to start with the green and literally pick a place and start tying it. I always start next to one of the, you know, the ties that kept the wreath together. And that was a bad start. This was an old tablecloth that I cut up. Again, I didn't make any measurements. We're just tying, literally tying. And make sure, you know, that it's scooched. I will get, once I get started, I will make a pattern. So I will do, since green is going to be my main color, let's say I'll do 5 greens, then I'll do an orange, a blue, a yellow, and a white. I might add a couple more in there. I usually write it down because I'll forget. And then I do it on one side, and then I do it on the other side. So I've gotten 2, so I need to do 3 more here and 3 more here, and then start the pattern. And I'll decide as I go how it looks. We'll see. Okay, so we've gotten our first pattern started. We're going to do 5 green, a white, a navy, an orange, and a yellow. And so green, white, navy, orange, and yellow. Seems like a weird combination, but this is, a friend of mine wanted a Native American, a Cherokee wreath, and the Native American flag is orange. Well, I'll just show you. This is the Cherokee Nation flag. So it's orange with yellow, like there's a navy star. There's green around the seal and around the edges, orange and yellow. And so this will be in the middle of the wreath. Never done this before. Never made a Native American Cherokee Nation wreath. So we'll see, but that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do green with some orange accents because we don't wanna do a lot of orange because the flag is orange. So we'll see. I'm gonna keep going now that I have my pattern established. Okay, so remember I had the little garden flag, the Cherokee Nation flag. I have wrapped it around a real cheap paper plate. I don't want to hot glue this whole thing because they might want to use the flag, you know? And so I used a bunch of packing tape on the back. That looks really bad. And I will hot glue this piece of cardstock to the tape, and that will keep it safe on the wreath. But then if they ever decide that they want the flag, I think the tape, it won't be ruined, I think. Generally, I use a lot of cheap used materials from thrift shops, that's it. Goodwill, mostly. This is new, so it makes me nervous to use a new item that I paid full price for. I mean, it was from Amazon. It was very inexpensive, but still. So I'll hot glue that, and then I'll hot glue it into the center of the wreath that I've made. And I'll show you the end results in just a minute. It's really cute, I think. Okay, again, since I don't want to ruin the flag, I'm just going to glue pieces of the wreath to the back of the cardstock that I've put on the back. And honestly, I hope that I have it centered like it needs to be, and all of that. Just flip some pieces out. And kind of use a lot of glue, really. Okay, so I glued a bunch of pieces of the fabric that onto the back of the cardstock. And oh, I don't know that is exactly even, but pretty cute, see? Not too bad.